I'm a sacred sex goddess. It's a name I gave to myself before I knew why. And at first, I had not thought about it much. But it came to me recently why I connected with that, why I connected with the sexual realm. And it's because I love who I am. When I'm working with my sexual energy, I love who I become. When I'm working in that sexual realm, I love who I become. When I'm transmuting that sexual energy, I love who I become. When I know how to work with my sexual energy, how to amplify it, how to harness it, I love whoever I become when I'm doing that. I also love who I am when I'm having sex. It took me a long time to realize that. Things like cooking, reading, these are things I enjoy doing. But me transmuting sexual energy, me working with sexual energy, I love whoever I become when I'm working with it. It's not about the doing. It's about who I become when I'm performing sexual rituals, when I'm performing sex magic. I love whoever comes and, woo, she's wild, she's fiery, she's sexy, she's sensual. I've always had a high sexual energy. And at one point, I was ashamed because to me, high sexual energy translated to high sex drive, which translated to having sex. And for some time, being a woman, seeing things from a patriarchal perspective, I started feeling shame. I have this energy, and this is how I'm interpreting it. But how I'm interpreting it is bringing me shame because of how I see things. Almost immediately, I started reading about it, wanting to know how I can work with this. And that's when the name A Sacred Sex Goddess came. But it's until recently that I sat with it. I looked into it. Now from a different perspective, because I am done looking at things from a patriarchal perspective. I had to get myself out of that. Looking at it from my own perspective, from how things are to me, I realized high sexual energy means a lot of things. It can mean transmuting it. It can mean manifesting using it. It can mean performing sexual rituals. It can mean transmuting it into a spiritual practice. It can mean sexual divination or sex divination. It can mean sex magic. It means so many things. It's alchemizing sexual energy. And I loved who I am when I'm doing that. I loved her then, I love her now, and I'll continue loving her. That is when it clicked. Yes, I'm a sacred sex goddess. There's a lot of things I can do with sexual energy. I can alchemize sexual energy. I can take up that whole realm and transmute this energy that is in abundance in me. So I am glad I didn't suppress it. I almost did because of the shame and the guilt. Oh, I'm a woman. I'm not supposed to be sexual. Oh, I'm a woman. I'm not supposed to have a high da. That's when I realized, ooh, that's where my power lies. My power lies there. I'm a goddess when I'm alchemizing sexual energy. I'm a goddess when I'm transmuting sexual energy. I'm a goddess when I'm practicing sacred sexuality. I'm a goddess when I'm practicing tantric sex. I'm a goddess when I enter into that sensuality realm and sexuality realm. I love who I become. It's a whole lot of fire. It has creation and destruction. Woo! It's chaos. It's the energy of chaos. You just need to learn how to direct it. And I love doing that. So I am a sacred sex goddess. And I want women to embrace that. When you start working with feminine energy. You'll get to that space where you cannot separate feminine energy and sexual energy. It's just a fire that burns inside you. I'm a sensual and sexual mystic. I help you bloom sensually and sexually, and that in itself is a self-love practice. Love you.